I'm Sumakshi Singh and you're watching me on webindia123.com. I think one of the works that has been really close to my heart has been mapping the memory mandala, and this is a project I did of my when my grandfather died, and I'd walked through the space that he lived in, his drawing room, and walking through this space I had a very strange experience where although I knew what all these objects were, I couldn't quite, like my relationship to them had somehow changed, and everything seemed different and my perception of them had altered, and I wanted to try and understand what this meant. And there was a lot of questions in my mind about what is real, how do I recognize it, what is permanent, what is fixed, what doesn't change. I think a lot of these questions that come up around death for a lot of us. And so what I did was I mapped out the illusion of his drawing room space in another room in France, actually, in my studio, on all the different objects that were in the space. And I did it in chalk pastel. And so there was a trash can, there was a chair, there was jars, there was shelves, floor, wall, etc. And when you walk in from the entrance, it looks like my grandfather's drawing room is right there in front of you. And as you walk in, of course, it fractures and breaks apart. And as you enter this space, once you've entered it, your perception of it has totally shifted, and the space seems a little bit shrunk. So it's like you're too large for this space, a little bit like when you go to your childhood home and you remember everything being so big because you were a child when you went there, and you go back as an adult and you're a bit surprised, like, oh wow, the table was this small or this room was that small. And as you're walking through this space, you simultaneously see yourself on screen, where you're in the lined up illusion of my grandfather's living room, and you're sitting on his sofa and you're walking through a table and moving through these objects that seem real on screen, and the only clue that they're not real is the fact that your body is cutting through solid objects.